showed up at the same time.
Yeah.
Because Kate is coming in one way and Kyle's coming in the other way. And they're like, oh my God, it's Ethan Hansen. And I'm like, surprise. And I'm on a ladder doing a billion
Yeah, we're like
things.
trying to work.
And I'm
It's like, hi guys.
yeah, David's there like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hi. And I'm like, oh God, I'm bad at social stuff. So then I'm like, guys, at this moment, it hit me. Oh my God, I haven't been in producer mode for 2 years. This hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but basically, we get the snacks divvied out. We're trying to set everyone up who's coming. We have probably 15 people show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, like, don't get me wrong, we thought we were going to have more, but 15 people nonetheless.
It was a tight-knit screening.
Yes,
Honestly,
it was very cool.
Friends and fans.
Given the technical difficulties that we're about to talk about, and also the fact that the movie wasn't actually completely finished for yesterday's screening, I'm actually I'm pretty happy about the fact that it was 15 people.
I'm gonna finish
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna finish my segment in it.
Do your bit, and then we're gonna go in.
Yeah. Still watch this. I hope you're still watching this like a movie in your head. Basically, I'm finally, oh God, okay, and I'm like, oh God, I'm just dead, right? And I'm like, hey Caleb, yeah, I'm gonna go sit down. All right, now transitioning back to Caleb.
Yep.
That's when Caleb starts to take over.
Yeah. So
like from this part, it was like.
So we have the DVD burn, and we put it in, and like
it plays.
It works. It goes as good as it's. I mean, it's 480p, which isn't ideal, but it's.
It looked nice on the screen, though.
It did. It looked nice on the screen. Everything looked nice on the screen. We showed a like unseen Doom Productions trailer. And it looked nice.
I'll be straight up here. It was a Bell Rings exclusive preview trailer.
Yeah.
So
it looked great.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So like. I'm pretty sure that projector's probably 480p because it looked fine. But anyway, yeah, we put it in. Everything is playing without a hitch, honestly. Like, it's all running really well. And then at a key moment, when you guys see the movie, you'll probably know exactly the moment because it is the worst moment for this to happen.
It's in the climax of the movie.
It's 7 minutes before the ending.
Yeah. The emotional climax of the movie has literally happened a millisecond ago. And then the movie freezes and shuts off. And everybody in the audience was like, no!
It was painful.
And I was like, I was too tired at that point to like have the panic attack no moment that they did, but I was just like,
okay.
Do we want to just pull out the laptop and finish the movie that way? Because I was not prepared to do what we had to do. But we walked down, we burned another DVD.
Thank goodness that was
worked.
it. Yeah. It wasn't like a file issue. It was a burn issue. So the disc was bad, but we just made a new one and it worked great.
Yeah. I will say this. Next time we use Glenwood, because it's not even like, this isn't a jab at them. We love Glenwood. They're
a cool space.
They're one of our favorite spaces in Yakima. But their system is so outdated and so old that, like, we're going to have to, next time we're ready to do that, we're going to have to sit down with them and figure out a game plan for, like, how are we going to do something other than a DVD, basically, because relying on a disc for a premiere like that, a disc that you just burned 2 seconds ago, like, either that or we need an extra, like, hour and a half, 2 hours that we don't need to pay for us to go in and sit through the entire DVD to make sure.
I will always give them props because every single time we ever needed to come in, they were always just willing.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, and she said we could come in at 10:15. There's just some miscommunication there with her employees and her.
Yeah.
So next time that we do
Honestly, it's probably we just need
miscommunication.
No. We need a test run that we weren't able to have. We need to be able to sit and watch the entire disc of whatever we're premiering before.
Yeah, exactly. But
nice.
After, I'm sorry, unless you want to.
No,
okay,
go ahead.
Yeah,
so,
we can wrap up the day.
Yeah. So after, after we realize we have to just burn another DVD, we do that. We throw the disc into, like, Caleb literally told me, all right, Nathan, the minute you get this disc, just run it back up there. It was a little bit more dramatic than it needed to be, but I was down for it. Yeah. Basically, he was like, okay, go. And I grabbed it, and I just like, and I start running back up, threw it back in the DVD player, and we start playing it. And I'm sitting there right next to the screen like, oh, God, please work, you son of a bitch. You better work. And then, before you know it, we get to the part, and it doesn't freeze. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And I turn off all the lights, and I run back up to my seat, and we push play. The rest of the movie happens.
It was a very exciting screening.
Yes, exactly. That all happens. All good stuff. We finally get the movie done. We watch the credits. One of my favorite parts of that entire day was when David's name popped up. as starring. David's name popped up, and everyone just started fucking clapping. Oh my god, it was like, that was the most cathartic piece of it for me. I'm like, yeah! Like, I got so excited because I was like, that's right, that's right. There were 15 people in the audience, and we were making some ruckus. It was so good. Riley's name popped up. Woo!
Yep.
Doom presents Doom Productions. Woo! It was fantastic. That was the best part. And then after that, we did a Q&A. And then that'll probably be in your vlog, actually.
A little bit of it. I'm saving some of it for Caleb. We haven't talked about it yet, but
Okay, sweet. And then, so yeah, the Q&A happened. Bam.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was a fun time. Yeah, and we went out and got pizza afterwards and just hang out as like cast and crew and friends, fellow filmmakers, and that was great to be all in one place. It felt like a kind of a I don't know, like a 2.0, or not even like a 2.0, but like just a next kind of like
a 1.5.
A 1.5. That's what I mean. A 1.5 of the folk filmmaker meetup that happened last summer. It felt like it had that same vibe.
Yeah, it was cool because like most of the Yakima filmmakers were there, and it was really cool. Like, we had the Grand on Girls. Brooke showed up later after the premiere.
Yeah.
After she was already planning on doing that anyways, but when she found out Ethan was there, like, oh, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. So it was cool to get to hang out with everyone, because Jordan and I have hung out with most of the Yakima filmmakers separately, but being in one space with everyone was a cool experience to see. So it was great. I guess I won't ask you how you feel about the movie until it's done.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I can say that like I love the movie. It's slowly become my favorite thing that I've directed this far. Like,
nice.
I love it. It's great, and I know that on Friday the audio is going to be where I want it to be. So I can confidently say I love it. Like,
yeah.
And I would never release something that I don't love. So
I know. Yeah. As with every movie people make, I feel like there's something they learn.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a specific I learned to do this differently in all my next features, or to keep doing something that you found worked well?
Yeah.
I'm putting it on the spot.
There was a lot of those on Hotel, honestly, but I'm trying to think of...
If there's a couple, that's great. It doesn't have to just be one.
Yeah, I mean, the shooting on the iPhone, I learned I want to do that again at some point. It's not going to be an every movie type thing. I think it fits certain stories better than others.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have shot Not So on a phone, but for movies that are very, like, just focused on a character in a very, very specific, small situation or whatever, the iPhone worked beautifully for Hotel, and I loved shooting on it, and after Hotel, it was like, okay, I'm definitely going to do more of these in the future, because I loved everything about it. Not a single thing that I disliked about shooting on the iPhone. It was great. There are shots in Hotel that you guys will see on Friday that are some of my favorite shots I've ever gone, and it's purely, like, it's something that you literally couldn't get on a different camera. It's like... Yeah.
There's some great stuff.
Yeah, but, so yeah, I mean, I learned that I love the iPhone.
Another convert. Shooting on phones is the best.
Yeah. And, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but, like, we refined a lot of the issues, pre-production issues with Not So, with Hotel, and biggest lesson that we applied from Not So and applied to Hotel and learned, okay, that was a good lesson we learned, because we're never not doing this again, was plenty of rehearsing time. We would not have gotten Hotel done in the short amount of time that we got it done if we hadn't spent those like 4 or 5 months rehearsing every week. Like,
it was 3 shooting days. Is that correct? 3
shooting nights, and then a half shooting night for one quick reshoot with David. But I don't even fully count that, because it was literally just that monologue at the end. But it took us just like 3-4 hours. But so basically 3 nights and then a little bit of extra stuff.
And when we say 3 nights, it probably wasn't like 7 hours, 8 hours probably. Probably
per night.
Yeah.
Those are full shoots.
Yeah. We would start at like
7.
There were a couple, I think, where
6.
we started at like 10 p.m.
10, yeah. So, and we'd go until like 5 maybe. So so 6 or 7.
Yeah. I mean, we would go basically. It was the final fight thing for the most part, unless we just got done in time. But if we didn't get done in time, it was like, we're just gonna shoot until the sun is up, because the sun can't be up for this movie. So,
exactly.
So like, once the sun is up, I guess we're gonna shoot again the next day.
Exactly. Yes.
And I think it's really cool to see. What I've learned in the last year is how effective long takes are for pacing.
Yeah.
They're so cool, and you have some great long takes.
You just gave me my answer. Keep
Yeah.
going, and then I'll tell you the thing that I learned.
Because Bell Rings, I learned that where I was originally going into it thinking I was going to shoot a lot of scenes and I guess more traditional coverage of like how it would be done, but majority of the scenes in Bell Rings have been cut down to, if I could cut only 3 times in the whole scene, that's a victory. If I could cut once, even better.
Yeah.
If none, perfect.
Yeah.
But now what were you going to say?
Yeah, so like I actually learned, I knew when I finished the rough cut of Hotel what the problem was, but I was very much in the gray area when it comes to like how I was actually going to solve those problems. I had no idea, and this is where Jordan this is why you guys get a producing credit. Jordan is always going to be in the camp of like, I don't even know what you guys gave me, but like Jordan watched every single cut of the movie for one.
Yeah.
And also he gave me the answers that I was looking for on a silver platter after the rough cut, and like the movie fell into place after that rough cut, because basically here's my take after the rough cut was like, this is very choppy. It doesn't flow very well, but the beats are there or whatever. And Jordan, just by telling me how he would solve the issues in the Q&A scene where it's like the two characters just asking each other questions. He basically what he said is like, this scene doesn't have to go by the script. You can shift when a certain question comes in. Because of the way that scene is structured, I could reorder that entire scene any way that I wanted to. Yeah. And that's when I started. That's when like the floodgates opened up, and I was like, "You're right. I could like I started completely over with that scene. Yeah. And I started by like, here are the questions that they ask, and in a Google Doc, I just started restructuring so that like it builds up more naturally or whatever, and then I applied that to the edit, and like, the choppiness was just gone after that. and that just started happening to all the movies, and like the other note that he gave was just like, hold on shots way longer, and like I started doing that, and like the flow, it's like you're talking about, like your instincts when you're sitting down and your editor is like, oh man, when I cut, I'm actually like quickening the movie or whatever. But in reality, a lot of the times, the more you cut, the choppier the movie starts to feel. Yeah. And because of that, the audience becomes less engaged, and because of that, the movie starts to actually feel longer and slower because you're not as engaged with what's happening. Yeah. You hold on shots longer, and you give the audience time to engage with your story. That way, it doesn't feel like it's 5 hours long.
A rule of thumb for you and I, whenever we, like, even for Not So, we, like, it's, whenever, like, with pacing and stuff like that, we'll watch a scene until, like, it starts to hit us, like, okay, this has been going on for a bit. Yeah. It's like,
we're very self-critical of our own work, and that's why I'm always confident in the movies we release, because we don't put anything out until we're both like, okay, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Like with Hotel, like a lot, it's like you would start doing these long takes, and then I would sit there, and then I knew you were going to do a cut, and I would see the cut, and I'd be like, I feel like that cut would be so much better, like right here. And I feel bad for Caleb sometimes, because the way I explain it, because I'll be sitting there and like, no, you got to do the cut right after David does this certain move after he like, it's like, David does this crazy hand motion. Oh, you mean right here? Yeah, but a little bit more this way. Okay, here? No. Okay, what do you mean? Okay, this way.
I need you to go 3 frames here. Yeah.
Nathan is the, because like there's the argument that certain people make, and I think there's some validity to it, that like directors editing their own work sometimes isn't the best idea, because you're too emotionally attached to the footage or whatever. And you're not able to look at everything as objectively as an editor who wasn't there every day of set and can just look at the footage for what it is. And I got to kind of experience that a little bit editing Crescendo, because like, even though I was on set that whole time and quote unquote we all directed it, Jordan was running that movie for most of it. So I got to sit there and see the shots that I wasn't seeing when we were on set, and like it gave me a different view than Jordan would have probably edited that or whatever. And like, anyway, what I'm trying to get at is Nathan is the person that makes sure that isn't a problem for me. Like, so many amazing cuts in Hotel are just like ideas that Nathan's like, hey, why don't you try this? And like, I wouldn't have ever thought about doing it that way because I'm like in that, like, I was on set all day, this whole time.
Yeah.
And this is what I know is gonna work or whatever. And then Nathan's like, well, you should try this thing. And then I tried it and I'm like, you're right. Like, yeah, multiple instances of that. So like, I don't ever worry anymore about the whole like I shouldn't be editing my own movies because I get most of it done, and then Nathan balances out the couple issues that can arise from that.
Yeah.
So.
On another note, Nathan related, let's move on from that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I actually cut off the entire conversation. Shit.
You fix this right now.
But yeah, so I'm very happy. Like, Hotel, I think, is the best movie that we've made, and I'm very excited for people to see it.
Yeah.
But audio problems aside, once the audio is fixed on Friday, it will be our best movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for all you listening, again, go watch Hotel.
Yeah.
It's available on YouTube today at some point
today.
for free. So go subscribe to RC Films. Hit the notification bell. Do all the YouTube things that you're supposed to do. That I don't know. You know.
You release your podcast pretty early, don't you?
9 a.m. baby.
Yeah, so
Unless you're listening on Spotify, then it's 7.
Then I can officially say it definitely won't be 9 a.m. So if you're listening to the podcast right when it comes out, wait a little bit, and then you'll be able to watch the movie this day.
We've just set up your movie watching plans for this weekend.
Yeah.
Watch Hotel, and then watch it again, and then watch it one more time.
For funsies.
For funsies. Cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you for chatting about Hotel. We're excited for that to come out.
Yeah.
Let's transition real quick here into a discussion we want to talk about real quick, which was on networking.
Yes.
Specifically, you guys have a really unique film scene out here. And I think Nathan and you could talk a lot about it because in Portland, Jordan and I are kind of, as far as we know, one of the only like people who are kind of in the folk film space or in the free YouTube filmmaking space. There's a lot of film stuff in Portland, but the YouTube side of it is not really there yet. Except for a couple. We met a couple of people, but not a lot. But here in Yakima, it's booming. So talk a lot about what you were thinking. I'm just gonna set you up and
Okay, sweet.
send you
Just
free
let me
now.
go.
Just fly free, my angel.
Honestly, I will say this. I want to hear Caleb's thoughts first, only because I feel like I could talk about this for hours.
Okay.
But I feel like Caleb has like a good little couple of thoughts on this page.
Is there a specific question you want us to go down? I didn't really set us up well.
Based on this, and then I'll answer
Yeah,
it.
I just set the stage.
Let's see then. In that case, then I'm trying to think here. It's like, what is something? Like, the living with Trevor days. Like, I mean, you talked about it in the first filmmaker hangout. It's like, I mean, what was that like? Just finding all those people, just friends of friends, basically, right?
You just message people on Facebook, and like that. Granted, is a very different situation from Not So, because Not So, it was like we have to find a lot of people who are actually going to be able to perform these lines or whatever. Whereas Living with Trevor was like, we just need bodies to fill the talent show seats. So like literally anybody works. I can message anybody on my Facebook friends list and be like, hey, you want to come be in a movie for like an hour? So like that one was probably the easiest one I've ever experienced, because like most people are going to say yes to that, especially if there's food and they don't have to work. Like, they just have to sit and watch us film a movie. Like, yeah, but like the Not So stuff is more in line with what we're talking about, because like, yeah, that would like, Not So is definitely about a main character, but it's also an ensemble cast, and we were able to do it because. Yeah, I don't know. That's all you.
Okay.
But like,
I just don't want to like steal the space basically.
Networking. What I will say on networking, because this really is a Nathan topic, but networking is very important in filmmaking, and it's a very overlooked aspect of it. I think honestly, since we've met you and Jordan, our creativity has boosted so much.
Yes.
Like, Hotel genuinely wouldn't have happened. Obviously, none of us would have made Crescendo. Like. You are better off when you are surrounded by other filmmakers than you are being on your own. Like,
Yes. People
like, be on your own and make your own art, but like having those influences and those people around you, I can definitely vouch for it. It like it was a big creative boost for me.
Yeah. The best people, in my opinion, to network with are the people that are very similar in their methods to you, but different in their styles and their way of doing things. Like, I feel like one of the best examples of networking for me is like, honestly, I messaged you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, I messaged you guys.
Back in like probably March or February of 2021?
It was probably February because I was like 2 months later we met. That's like kind of how that worked.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, I mean, maybe it was like 3 months, but nonetheless, I messaged you guys, and the reason why at the time too is because there wasn't any filmmakers in Yakima that, you know, we knew of at the time. I mean, we knew Kyle, we knew Gage, and we were like, yes, sweet, perfect, awesome. But we want to find more like us. You know, they were at the time making short films, and we were like, I wonder if there's other feature filmmakers out there, you know, and that'd be great. So then, for like all through Not So, I would always whisper to Caleb and be like, I wonder if there's other people out there doing what we do. And he's like, well, maybe. Yeah. And then sure enough, you know, the Dan Lotz thing happened. We find his playlist. We find October. We message you. I messaged you and Jordan.
Yeah.
You messaged first. I think it was literally you who messaged first.
Oh,
yeah, just
sweet.
FYI. Like that's a fun little tidbit.
Where'd you message me on? Was it Twitter?
Instagram.
Oh, it was Instagram.
Really random. It was really random because I couldn't find your Facebook. Oddly enough, I think that's what it was.
You trying to Facebook stalk me first?
No. But yes. See, let's see. So when we met you, we messaged you, and the reason why we did that is because we were just like, we want to see how similar we would be to you guys, and sure enough, out of everybody we met, you were the most similar to us. I feel like, you know, and we actually adopted some of your methods of doing things into our movie. Hotel was shot in 3 days because we looked at your guys' take on October and we were like, holy crap.
That's why we asked you guys to produce Hotel, because even though the actual narrative is very, very RC filmed and not super doomed, like there's no third act twist where the sky
the aliens
or whatever, but like the way we went about approaching how we're going to logistically make this movie is like the opposite of what we did with Not So, in that like it is the doomed method of like we got everything, we did a lot more prep work, and we were fully prepared for those 3 days, whereas Not So is like we're just shooting scene by scene until the movie's done, because every scene was like a mini final fight.
Yes.
But like, scaled ourselves back, planned for a 3-day shoot, and actually achieved those 3 days.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, with that being said, that we met you guys and it inspired us like that. That's the importance of networking right there.
Yeah.
It's that feeling, like Caleb said it best when you're editing your own movie. It just applies to everything. It feels like you just get so stuck in your own work that you have a certain biasness that's not weird in any way. That's just how it is, you know? Yeah. You know, in your mind you're like, all right, so this sucks or this is great, but you might need someone to be like, oh, this could actually be changed, or man, actually this is fantastic. And meeting other people can not only encourage you but just help you. You know? I feel like when I say networking, it's this really oddly dirty word. I feel like when we think Hollywood, we think like, oh yes, let's go. You gotta fight your way to the top, boy. You gotta do all that. With this though, it's genuinely making friendships. Like meeting Kate and Brooke this last year was really great, and you know, even though honestly, RC films and Grand On Films definitely make our movies entirely different, but I still respect what they're doing because they're out there making stuff, and that's the reason why I really wanted to be a part of something of theirs. And before you knew it, I was in another acting thing, and you know, not what we previously ever thought we had the capacity for. So that movie, I'm in that one, and then Not the Drama We Expect. You know, I was like, wow, this is really cool and great, and that's like, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that the power of networking at our level is that you can get more help and you can be at help, you know?
Well, and the doors open so much easier at our level when you're networking with other people. If I tried to network with, I don't know, anyone who's like working in the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of movies, I feel like that might be a hard place for me to start out trying to reach up to. But building up at this level, those steps become a lot more manageable to work our way up into something that's bigger than what we're doing now. Because I mean, all of us, I think, would agree our goal isn't to stay at this level forever. But at the same time, like when we're here, like let's make the most of what we've got.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Honestly,
here's the best thing about. I'm not even gonna talk about us. I'm gonna talk about you guys. But here's the thing: like, we don't want to be static and stay in this place in terms of resources forever.
Yeah.
But I also think the movies that we're making right now, aside from Paul Blart 3,
Coming soon.
The movies that we are all making right now are like of the scale that we want to be making. It's just like we want to be able to make them easier.
Yeah. I want to be able to pay my people and pay myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like spoiler alert, we've seen some of Bell Rings, and like that movie, you would never, like, you don't watch that movie and go, oh, he made this for $0. Like, like we've all gone pretty good at like capturing that scale and scope that we're wanting to capture.
We all know what we can do.
yes.
And like everybody listening to this podcast can do the same thing. Like,
This is what I will say is that I feel like the more of us that meet, like the better it gets, basically. Like, because you get more creative input, you get more people in your corner. Like, there are people who don't even know about this movement going on right now. Like, I mean,
Well, none of us did.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
I don't even think you have to do it. It is a movement. Like,
it's a movement, whatever it is.
I was that way. You know this. We were both this way when we first when like the folk filmmaking movement thing started happening. We were like, this is exciting. We love this. Let's not jump the gun, though. Who knows if this is going to be a movement? And we were wrong.
Yeah.
We were actually wrong. Like, it's genuinely become a full-blown movement, and I'm so happy that we're a part of it.
I mean, you can't look at what happened with Joel Haver's filmmaking thing and say it's anything other than a movement.
It's a movement. It's a movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you want to call that movement is up to you, but it is a movement.
Yes, agreed. I feel like, here's the thing, though. It's like, we look at all these, like, this is, look at all these film studios. You have Doom Productions, RC Films, 922 Films, other films, and Tora Films, and
Tora,
Low Budget Visions, freaking
don't tell show.
What is it? Ethan Stevens.
Processing pictures.
I don't know. Forgive me, Ethan.
There's so many more. That's the hard part now. Is when we were first meeting last year, it was like, oh yeah, you could count them all in like your hands, and now it's like, oh shoot, I'm leaving everyone out, which is the best problem on earth.
There's all these people who are making studios, like literal, like independent film studios who are making movies, and they're so strong, you know? But then the fact is that these people can meet. It's like, okay, I always hate to turn to this whenever I want to use a metaphor or
do it.
So the Avengers. It's like we watched those first 4 movies before first 5 movies before the Avengers happened, right? And we're like, wow, all these heroes are like super strong by themselves. Like the movies and the heroes and everything but then seeing them all come together for that first New York fight, oh my god, it's like it's epic, right? The fact that we can do that now is like, oh man, it's like the fact that we've definitely been talks to, you know, make some movies with you guys, and you know, me come up. Like, I mean, definitely, it's no secret that I'm gonna be in one of your guys' movies, a couple of them for sure. Time
frames shifting as always, but they are happening.
Here's another thing. It's like something that we kind of stole from Hollywood, but made it more of a positive environment. Is that something, you know, you make friends to meet the peeps, you know? Basically, honestly, it's like, when we met you guys, all of a sudden, this whole new world was opened up. Like, hey, we have David Rivera from freaking Hotel and Not So Amazing. That's crazy. We have Travis Hobbs from all these other movies. We should put them in a movie.
That would be an awesome movie.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be so cool.
That would be insane,
actually. Well, and another way that worked out is, like, you met through us, and then we got you into Dan Lotz's sphere, and now you're going to be a main character in 2 Dan Lotz films this year.
And see, like, that's crazy how that happens, you know? It's like if we can't make it big, quote unquote, we can make it small.
And we can make it now.
We can make it now. It's like the fact that,
for all intents and purposes, the movies you're going to be in this summer are basically folk filmmaking blockbusters.
They really are.
I'm kind of surprised, honestly.
I feel like my best friend is about to go shoot Transformers 7.
Oh God! Don't say
that. Shia gonna be on set? Wow.
Freaking just down. He was like, yeah, you know, Shia LaBeouf.
No biggie.
No
biggie. We're all this is the best example of, like, yes, it would be really nice, and like I'm so I'm excited for the day where I can pay people and we can have like good, healthy food on set at all times. And, and like all of that stuff. But like we've already made it. We're already there. Like,
exactly.
It's just how do we make it better?
Be in a summer blockbuster. Like you're already here.
No, once you're here, it's just like how do we make it better? How do we keep the wheel turning?
Yeah.
I want to speak for the actors because I know there's a couple of them out there who are listening.
That's where I was about to go next. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So basically, I will say this. Filmmakers, we can collaborate, we can, make movies together, we can give notes and everything, but to the actors out there, like, if you're watching this and you're like, man, this is so cool, and you're just sitting there on the sidelines, hear me out. Facebook is a thing, Instagram is a social media.
Twitter is a booming place for indie filmmakers.
Twitter is a booming place. This is what I'm saying. If you're an actor who wants to be a part of this, you're now a filmmaker in your eyes. Like,
I'll expand on that for 2 seconds. If you're a person, who like all of us, we all have our origin stories. But like any creative person, if you're just a person who's like, man, it'd be really cool if I could be an actor. I probably can't. And then go back to your job at Burger King or something. Like, just know you can be an actor. You can be an actor next week. Like
exactly.
People like us, we're dying to work with new people. Like we will bend over backwards to get people onto our projects that are new, like new talent, whatever that looks like. And we've worked with our friends for years who are not actors, who've acted maybe once in a thing and never act again, but they do great jobs. So that's like the bar is like set so low. We will do anything we can. Like an example from Wild Boys 2, Jasmine, the character who plays my sister, she's like never gotten to act before, always wanted to like try out what it'd be like to act in a movie, reached out to us like a couple weeks before we were going to start shooting. She was trying to find someone and was like, hey, could I be in your guys' movie? Like, it was just a friend of a friend situation. We were like, yeah, absolutely, let's do this. Like, we need someone. And she's the best part of that movie. And she hasn't reached out to us since. I don't know if she'll ever act in The Thing again, but I feel so happy that she got to do the thing she wanted to try at least once. And if she wants to do it again, great.
This is what I'll say. She's a perfect example in the Doom Productions way. RC Films version of that is Brienne. Like, oh my God, Brienne
is an amazing actress.
Yes,
who knows if she's actually going to act again?
And we would love to see it, but it's the fact is that
we would love to work with her again.
Exactly. She was fantastic in Not So. She's like one of the best performances in that movie, like all-star. And the fact is that the way, like, and I never talk about it much, but the fact is that I came in the audition that I met Caleb Robinson in. Brienne was there with me. Like that famous audition, quote unquote, that I just met Caleb by myself. Brienne was sitting there right next to me, and she was there to audition as well. And she got the part of Kirsten basically on that day, like right there, And that was really cool. It's the fact is what I'm trying to say here is that if you're a person who is like, man, if you're on the outside looking in, don't do it anymore. This is almost say Ethan Hansen, Jordan Ross. Crap.
Think like Ross, like the store, but with only one S.
Okay. Jordan Ross.
There it is.
Nathon Morales on Facebook specifically, or Cash. Caleb Robinson. Message any of us. Even
if you're not from Yakima or Portland or whatever, Nathan's an example of that. I mean, obviously not everyone's going to be as dedicated as Nathan. But Nathan's literally traveling to Chicago to shoot a movie.
For a week.
like I don't know, people. A lot of us are willing to work with stuff like that. If you're right for the part and it's a short shoot period, it'll happen.
And there's people probably a lot closer to you than us who are doing this. You just gotta look.
That's what we've realized about this movie. We're everywhere. All of them.
It's scary how many people.
Just met with Dan, and he's like a couple hours away from him.
I'm 3 hours out from you guys. It's no biggie.
Listen to the person listening to this. If you're in Britain, look, you're set up. There's like people out there who are willing to work with you. Like they are out there. This is almost
a worldwide thing.
The folk filmmaker, independent filmmaker, YouTube independent scene, whatever the hell we want to call it. It's like I love the politics.
It's wonderful.
Oh God. Basically, I'm just gonna say it with no shame. The folk filmmaker community. It's like it connects everybody. Honestly, from people who animate to the composers to like this isn't just like for the actors, filmmakers, and everyone on a film set. It's like for people who want to make music. It's for people who want to draw. It's like we make it work.
Creatives in general. If you want to be a part of this thing,
You can.
You can.
Yeah, it's like this.
We're still in the infancy of this too, which is the best thing ever. Like you give us like a couple more years, and it's gonna get to the point where like we're like, oh man, I need a composer for my movie. Well, here's 100 of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That are like just willing to work with.
This is all I will say. Don't come into it thinking you're going to be a star. I won't lie to you, because if you do that, you will get burnt and you will not die. You will be sad.
Yeah.
But come into it knowing that you're going to make great relationships, and maybe
do great work.
Yeah, and you're going to do
have a
great
lot of
work,
fun.
a lot of personal work, a lot of stuff that you want to do. Even the comedies, like everything is so personal and so fun and so great. Maybe there are people that you won't work well with at all, and maybe just don't go that way.
That's people. That's just how it is.
Exactly. But even then, you at least know that person now, and you know, hey, I can respect what that person is doing. Yeah. I can respect the movies they're doing, the music they're creating, all that. But that's like, honestly, the last couple of years, I've been the networking guy of RC Films.
Yeah.
And you know,
still are for the most part.
I always try to invite more people in, because we're not gatekeeping, No. And like I'm always trying to, Grant on Girls, I'm always trying to the best of my ability, keep them involved with everything. I was always hyping up Doom production. I was always hyping up Video Carnage to them, and Oh Brother, and Kate's too scared to watch House. But
she should though.
Yeah. But basically, I'm always trying to involve people. I keep bringing him up, and I'm gonna give him a little shout out. He might not even listen to this podcast, but Trevor Jansen, that guy's gonna be the next big thing. I'll say it right now. It's like he's not gonna be a celebrity, but I promise you, he's the next big thing. He's gonna be great. I don't know if he's gonna be a cinematographer or if he's gonna be acting or anything from the above, but there's something
he's
about.
A creative guy.
Can people follow him anywhere?
I just know he. Hang on.
Or can people get in on this early? How do we track this rising star?
Yeah, this rising star. Hang on, I'm sorry, Trevor, if you're listening. I'm giving out your info. Let's see. So Trevor Jansen, that's a Trevor, how you spell Trevor.
Yeah.
And then Jansen, which is Janshen. You can find him on Facebook and also on Instagram. I think with Instagram, though, it's weird, though. Hang on. He's got a whole...
Basically,
yeah.
Go find this man and be like, hey, when are you making a movie?
Yeah, exactly. He seems like he's already getting some stuff too, which is really exciting. So
yeah.
I'm just really excited for that guy. He's really good. Yes, I'm always But either way, to wrap it up, probably.
Yeah.
I want you to know it's like I personally, RC Films with Doom Productions. We're always trying to find new people, and if you want to know you're not alone in the world, send us a message.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, if you can't tell, we're very excited and passionate about this kind of stuff. As that whole, I'm not going to call it a rant, but as that very excited conversation
that
went
ramble.
in a beautiful way. Let's transition into what have you guys been working on? Well, we've already kind of done that, I guess.
What we can talk about is what we're about to be working on.
Yes, that's the better way to phrase it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not taking over this one, am I?
Okay. Well, I can't remember half of the stuff that we've said on your guys' podcast, but I feel like we very lightly toyed with we get after I've hibernated for a month or so.
Yes.
I'm gonna get back to work on this short film documentary that we've been working on for a while now. That's basically it's a documentary that captures the moment before all of us went and met Dan.
It's a really good doc. You showed it to me while I was up here. It's really good.
Yeah, and then also there's the feature though. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We could probably like talk a little bit about that, shouldn't we?
You talking about the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want to.
Okay, I think the Doom Productions exclusive should happen.
Give the people what they want.
I mean, this is hopefully what Nathan and I want to be doing is start filming in September.
Want to be doing?
Yeah.
Hey.
If Hotel is a pretty big, a pretty massive left turn from Not So Amazing and Living with Trevor, and Wannabe is somewhere in the middle. There's some Hotel isms that are going to be in it, and there's some Not So isms that are going to be in it, but it's definitely lighter and more of a comedy than Hotel. But basically, it's going to be a movie about an aspiring rapper who's really bad at rap. And that's the 1 minute. That's the
elevator pitch.
And Nathan's going to be playing the lead.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna
Cash is back.
It's going to be the first RC Films. Oddly enough, the first RC Films movie that I'll be the lead in. So it's going to be kind of crazy.
That's cool.
So yeah, this before we came and you guys like rubbed your creativity onto us. This was gonna be the. This is gonna put some stuff into perspective.
Hello?
My break. What?
Oh, no, you're good. Keep talking.
My break from filmmaking from Not So Amazing was gonna be wrapping up around this time.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So there was gonna be like a 2-year hiatus or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Yeah. Me too. Actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that's something I learned from hotels. Like, yes, you need a break, but also for those long breaks where it's like I needed a year before I start working on Wannabe. There's still room for those smaller features. Like,
Yeah.
Hotel is a very small feature compared to Not So, but it's still like, yeah. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Wannabe is very much. It's not going to be as big as Not So, but it's a way bigger scale than Hotel. Like,
Nice.
but yeah, that's the next thing we're working on. We're not sure how that's all gonna go yet because I'm still working on the script and everything. But we have the plot beats. We know what the movie's gonna be, but I'm still working on the script, and we're gonna be shooting that on the Blackmagic 4K or 6K.
Oh,
We're
you're
still figuring it
upgrading.
out.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
finally upgrading.
Yes.
Because you're still shooting on the T2i, right?
Outside of the iPhone,
Yeah.
it's all been the T2i.
That's
and I still
awesome.
love that camera, and I will still use it for certain projects.
The Rebels
but-
are great. Those are
Yeah.
good cameras.
Yeah, they're great. The like milky color temperature is. I love Canon, but
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get the Blackmagic for that. And we aren't 100% sure yet, even what we're gonna do distribution wise with that one. We're definitely like full blown folk filmmakers at this point. We are never a million years going to abandon YouTube. And I will even go this far. No matter what we end up doing with Wannabe, the end point will be YouTube eventually, I think.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, even if you have to wait a year or something, it will be on it'll be on YouTube, and that's where it will stay once it's on YouTube.
Yes.
But we're gonna potentially play with festivals and stuff like that, and potentially Prime. Who knows where Amazon Prime will be though when we're actually done with that movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, we're playing with some ideas with it, and who knows, maybe the movie will be done and we'll just have a whole 180 at that point and be like, yeah, it's on YouTube. But who knows? Well, right now we're taking at least the festival thing pretty seriously.
Yes.
Cool.
At least, and that is something that I'm like, maybe it'll go terribly, and then I'll be a convert of like, okay, yeah, screw film festivals. But if it goes good, I think that is another potential route for folk filmmakers, because it is a way to build up buzz for your movie before you drop it on YouTube. So like,
Totally.
do a festival run. It might be a potential route for movies to do a festival run and then drop it on YouTube, because then the barrier between, oh man, there's this movie with a bunch of buzz and now I have to pay $5 for it. That barrier is gone, and now it's just like I talk about how Jim Cummings made so much money off of Thunder Road, and his method worked really well because he brought it to a bunch of festivals, gained buzz, and then instead of selling it to somebody, he just cut a really good trailer with all of the evidence of that buzz in it, and then right at the end you could click rent on Amazon Prime or whatever, and he got me. I did it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now imagine that same effect, but click here to watch right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
No barrier.
So I don't know. Yeah.
There's something there.
There's something there.
Totally. Nice. And then what is that? Those are the two big things to be on the lookout.
Yes.
Yeah,
or
documentary will be coming out
and
this summer. Most likely close to when we shot it, because that was my original thing. I want it to be a time capsule. So I think it'll be cool for you, me, Nathan, and Jordan to be able to see it a year from that time. But
no, I loved it. Getting to watch the cut you have so far. I'm excited for
There's just that one cut too.
Oh man, it's so good. There's a part that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so nostalgic. That's so beautifully nostalgic. And then, what are you guys watching? Have you had time to even watch anything in the last couple of weeks? We'll go all the way back to since the last podcast.
Like literally, like Joel Haver stuff. Just like the.
What full films have you seen?
Yeah. So we watched 5 to 9. Is that what it was?
Yes, that one was really interesting.
Yeah, which is an experimental film that's literally just shots of LA for 40 minutes. But like,
nice.
It's one of those things where like the intention was like, I'm gonna do this Joel Haver thing, so I'm just gonna plop a camera in different parts of LA and whatever. But because it's LA and it's this bumbling city of just craziness at all times, a story actually starts to form, and like the movie, it's just cool. It's cool. It's one of those. It's just like the movie just kind of happens. It's the rawest form of filmmaking. Like literally plop a camera down and just see what happens, and then cut it together. And like
I like
really liked it. It was cool.
It's one of those movies that like if I watched it by myself, I would have gotten something entirely different from it. But watching it with you made it an entirely more interesting experience. Like it felt like we were just two friends talking on a bench in LA.
Yeah. We've also, that's cool. Nathan and I have, like, very recently, actually, like, this year, started getting more into, like, meditative movies.
Yes. That's my character arc.
Yeah. Like, that's a thing that, like, we owe to the folk filmmaking community, because
there's a lot of them.
when we finished Not So, Nathan and I we were getting better at it, but we were still putting movies in a box a little bit. And then, then we saw the playlist and we started watching. And we even did it a little bit with October, I will not lie. Like like our big takeaway was like we really like that movie. I don't know how I feel about the aspect ratio changing. and now like however long it's been since we watched October the first time, now we're like, that's awesome. And same thing with meditative movies. Like if we had watched Endless August, right after Not So, we wouldn't have talked trash about it, because we don't do that. But like we probably would have watched it and then just moved on with our lives. But that movie stuck with us now, and it's really just a movie of Matt Berry talking to his wife for like 20 minutes and then going on the beach, and that's the whole movie. And it's like, it's a powerful piece, even though that's all that it is. And like, I don't know, but yeah, that's what 5 to 9 is also very meditative. It's just shots of a city, and it leaves you with your own thoughts, and like,
that's great.
It's so crazy. It's so funny because Caleb and I were just starting to watch some of them, and like it's like we watched, of course, some of the bigger hitters. You know, we watched our one shots and our dubstep dancers.
As
and
you do.
Dubstep dancers.
Oh
my god, the dubstep I'm glad we watched 5 to 9. I mean, 4 to 9 or something, like 5 to 9.
Whatever it was.
It was the time span of the Oscars, which was really cool. Basically, it's like that dubstep dance was hilarious, and like it's fantastic. And then like we also watched we watched Oscars. You know, we watched that. We watched let's see, what else did we watch?
We watched the wolf, the bad guy, whatever.
Yeah, the Joel Haver movie.
In the party, the Joel Haver one, and it was great.
We watched. I feel like we watched another we watched a couple short films.
Behind. We want to watch more. We wanted to watch more than we have, but Hotel has just been like.
You mean you haven't watched all 580 films yet?
No, we're not.
I love that that's a joke. Meanwhile, Jennifer actually.
Jenny.
I know, she's insane. It's so nuts. But
what a mad woman.
It's
crazy.
So the only other thing that I watched on my birthday as a 2-hour break from sound work was the Adam Project, and I actually kind of liked it. Like,
are you gonna say Sonic?
I want to see Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, unironically, I want to go watch Sonic the Hedgehog too.
Same.
It looks so fun.
Yes. Agreed.
But yeah, Adam Project was really good, and as someone who had a rough experience with Deadpool 2, it gives me it gives me hope that Deadpool 3 might actually be more my cup of tea, because that director is the guy who's doing it, who's doing Deadpool 3. So
nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, but that's the only I haven't watched anything, because Hotel is just.
That's how it goes.
And the stuff that that Nathan and I are talking about is literally like 2-3 weeks ago. So
that's fine. That's totally fine.
Yes.
Well, boys, it's been great having you on the podcast.
Sweet.
Thanks so much for inviting me up. It's a bummer Jordan couldn't be here, but
I know.
It'll happen soon. Yeah. So, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Doom Productions podcast. I'll say it one more time. What are you still doing here? Go watch Hotel if it's out now. If it's not, go subscribe to RC Films so you know the second that it drops. And be sure to follow what they've got coming next, because there's some good things coming from that YouTube channel. They are a powerhouse of filmmaking, and you should not be sleeping on them. So without further ado, this is the end of the episode, and we will catch you all on the next one.